Yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome to the session. I am Deepak from Dream11 and today we will be presenting a in-house test case management tool that we have built inside Dream11's lab, and this is now open source. So let's get started. So first of all, what is a test case? A test case is a set of conditions structured in a way that is aimed to validate whether a piece of software is working as expected or not. Right? We know there are a few kind of test cases, that is functional test cases, UI test cases, performance test cases. Other question is, why do we need a management system for this? What do we even mean by managing these test cases? Why do we need a tool for this? Why can't we do it ourselves? So to understand this point, let's take an example. Let's say you have a product and you are very actively maintaining that product. You are building features, shipping it. So when you are building these features, you need to make sure that whenever you are adding something new to this product, all of the features that you have built earlier plus the existing features that you are now shipping is working perfectly. To do so, you need to run these test cases, and you want to get the result of these test cases, and you want to know whether some test cases are failing, some test cases are passing or not, if it is a failure, why it is failing, right? So the thing is, what you can do is you can maintain an Excel sheet for that, you can log it there, right? But the problem is when you scale. If I take an example of Dream11, we have almost 6,000 plus test cases just in front end, and we have a regression cycle every month, and in every regression we run these test cases almost 2 to 3 times. To do so in a manual way, it is just quite not possible. That's where a management tool comes into the picture. So for long we have been also using our management tool, and it was working very fine for us. But soon enough, as our test cases grew, our features grew, we expanded, we started facing some of the challenges. What are the challenges that we started facing with this tool? One is the availability of the tool. There was frequent outages at the tool's end, and there was no such turnaround times that we were getting from them. There was performance issues on the website, there were multiple bugs, and for the past 6 months, there were almost 20% of the releases that we had were impacted because of the outage of this tool. Now, what should we do to solve this problem? So we started looking more tools in the market, and we created some list of P0 features that we need at our scale, and we started researching more and comparing the tools. If you see on the screen, we compared various open source tools and various paid tools as well, but none of these tools were matching our expectations at this scale. So what should we do now? What should we do next? How should we solve that problem? So that's when we decided that we are developers, we are building things for others, why not build things for us only? So that's when we created a tool for test case management that is inside Dream11's labs, and that's how the idea of Checkmate was born. We have now open sourced it, and to talk more about Checkmate, its features and capabilities, Ashutosh will come and he will explain you in more detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepak. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ashutosh. I will be talking in detail about the Checkmate, that is in-house tool that we are using from last 4 to 5 months for releasing our applications, and it is working as smoothly. So let's talk about the key features that we have introduced in it. Let's talk about how it is streamlining our testing process. Checkmate is serving as a single shop solution for all our testing requirements. It has tracking, it has a dashboard that tracks the status of the test, and it has also metric system that we can check what are the previous historical logs of a test, and at how many times it was failing and how many tests it was passing. As we have also correlated while doing the research, we have correlated the features that are must have for us. So for that, we have created this with all the features that we need, and it overcomes all our challenges that we were facing earlier also. The challenges that we were facing in general are that the API support system of the previous tool was not up to the mark that we need, and some patchings were not there. So these kind of problems So in Checkmate, we created a robust API support which covers majority of our part. And since it is in-house hosted, so our RPMs issue just vanishes. We can scale this tool as we need as per our requirement. And the major plus point of the in-house tool is that we can expand the features over the time as our requirement always evolves. So keeping these things in mind, we start the development. So let's first talk about the atomic part of this tool, that is tests. So all of these things is around managing these tests, how efficiently we can segregate these tests, and how efficiently we can track the records of these tests also. So the major attributes that we provided are the labels, squads, sections. These are basically dividing the tests on the basis of teams, on the basis of features mainly. And we have also provided some metadata support also, like the preconditions of a test, the required steps of the test, and the expected results that we can have. And there are also some features like priority, type, platform, test covered by. So this is the sneak peek into our website. So these are the properties that test case can be associated with. And keeping in mind of our requirement and in general what we need to specify a single test and identify it. So these are the comprehensive list of the features that we provide to our test. So now what we will talk about is how these tests are being managed in this tool. So on the most broader level, the tests are basically divided into different projects. These projects are entirely different entity from each other, and they are basically, we can take an example like suppose when companies have the two applications of it, so they can create a different projects of it, or they can create a project based on front end and back end. So these can be different to independent entities. And what we have in regarding of managing these, what we have provided is the upload facility that we have. So that it can ensure that if you want to migrate from the existing tools, then it can be, it would be very useful upload functionality. You can just upload your CSV files and it will migrate all your previous test cases into this tool. And on the parallel of this, we also have a download in the CSV format also. After migrating your test case or adding your test cases, what we provide is a clear-traced visual formation with a tabular formation of the test cases on which you can visualize on basis on the filters and by putting sorts on the different parameters of the tests. What we also have is that as our feature evolves or new teams created, so we need to mainly edit our existing test cases or add our test cases. So for that, we provide a very user-intuitive website on which you can just add or edit your test cases seamlessly. And the plus point of this application is that we can, there are the robust API collection, and all of those things can be done with the help of APIs also. So if you have your automated systems in which you generate your test and then you want to log it into the Checkmate, then you can just create a test case with the help of APIs also. We have cataloged all the tests here in the website. And now what we have to do? What we have to do is, in case of testing, we need to create a run. Run is basically the grouping of the tests for the single purpose, like we are releasing an application. So we will create a run and track its update. We will talk about it in a bit. Let's talk about the visual representation of the test that we have in our application. So this is application, the landing page of a project. In it, you can see all the test cases are lined up and the properties of it, like priority, squads and platforms are shown. And you can sort on the basis of those things, and we have provided filters also. Currently, we have 3 filters: platforms, squad and labels. Now moving forward, what the main purpose of these tests that we have cataloged is the creating a run create and run and update the status of the tests on it, test our application, mark the status as failed or passed as per our system. And what it provides is also a real-time dashboard where you can see how many test cases of your run has passed or failed or are still untested or are in progress. We have provided an exhaustive list of the status of the test cases that you can have. The major part of these is also that once your run is in progress and suppose you have encountered a bug and you have released a new application, then you have to start the testing again. So in that scenario, we can reset the run and it will mark all the past test cases to the retest. So we have to test it again. And if a feature is being dropped, so you can just remove those test cases also from the active runs also. And majority of the part is that once the test cases are concluded, what do we need is that we do not want it more, no further changes are required in it, and we want to log in the state that it is that how many are passed or failed. So we can just log the run and it will preserve its state throughout the journey, and we can't further make any more changes in it. And we can download this report also in a CSV format. So reports are basically very useful for auditing purposes also, and for sharing it with the teams that were not using this project, this tool. And what major part of this is, since some of us do not want to visit a website, we have just an automated system. We just want to create and run by itself on basis of the filters of squads or sections or labels. So we can just create the run through the APIs. We can update its status to the APIs. We can log the run and we can just download the reports through APIs also. So we can use these tools apart from doing on the website, just on the APIs. And with the help of these APIs, we can also set an alerting system that we can have about the status of the run that is current. This is basically the runs dashboard. Some of them are passed. On the top of it, you can see the status of the run, that 1.2% are passed and 96.4% are still untested. So these things can be tracked from here. And for testing the status of single squads or a link of a single squads, you can also put a filters on it. Or for the customizable view, you can just hide or select any columns that you want to info from the columns. Now let me take you over to a brief review of this project. What we have here is the landing page of this application. Suppose you have a product named Transports Lab and you have majority of the tests in it. So you can just go into that. You can see a tabular format of this. You can apply filters for your selecting your specific squads test cases and want to see what their status are they automated or they about to be automated. So you can just put squads filters over it, and it will show you only that specific squads test. And you can also remove the column that you don't want to see the data of. Those kinds of things are also present here. And you can add your tests from here, and you can select all the properties that we already integrated in it and make a use of it. And we also created for adding and deleting the tests, that are the third operations that we in general have. Suppose we are doing a backend testing of a backend project, so you can just put a filter over here, and you can create a run by just suppose we have you can just create a run and the applied filters will be honored in the run itself, and the run will be created with this dashboard. And here, if you want to check, suppose you can mark majority of them as a part of fail. So this will work smoothly as well. And you can check how many tests of those are passed or failed. You can apply the filters over it. and you can select by sections. All the sections are basically we have the subdivisions between the teams. Suppose if a team has three screens that they are taking care of, so they can divide their test cases into the sections also, and that will be helpful for them to track each screen's test cases in itself. And after suppose the testing is being done, we can just simply log the run, and no further changes are mutable in it, and we can download the report here from here, and now we are ready to share it with our offline peers. So, and apart from this, there are some extra functionalities that we provide are the RBAC. So what is here is that you can generate the tokens from here, and you can hit your APIs with it. And admins have the access to see which user has which access, and they can update their status as well. So providing an RBAC is a major win part for us, because it is the requirement of each large number of teams. This is a majority period requirement for them. Now we will talk about the tech stack that we are used in building the Checkmate. Backbone of this project is the Remix, and it is a full stack framework designed for server rendered applications. So our front end and back end is both powered by the Remix itself. The reason behind using Remix is the SSR, that is the major reason of this, and it is providing out-of-box SSRs, and they are useful in the SEOs and page responsiveness, as it sends the calculated HTMLs from the server and directly send it to the browser, so browser do not have to do any more calculations over it. And for database, what we are using is MySQL. Since we can clearly see the relationships between the tests, its runs, its projects, its status, so a clear relationship between the entities can be established. So we are using MySQL for the database use case. And along with it, we are using Dream11's. The reason for using it is that it provides the TypeScript to the project, that is it is majority written in TypeScript, so the TypeScript is much for help. So we use that reason, and it is provide a very intuitive interaction layer with the database itself. Components made in this project are mainly based on the ShatScene library that provide a majority of the components that we need to use, and it has great community support. And it also comes with integrated Google sign-in, and since it is the most hassle-free and adopted sign-in tool that used across the globe, so it also comes with it. And RBAC, since as I told earlier, it was a must-have requirement for us, must-have requirement for any large-scale organization. So we have implemented RBAC using open source package, that is Cascade. In our project, the RBAC is basically divided into three parts: that admin, users, and readers. By the name of them, you can clearly identify that admin can do anything. Reader have only the access to read the content, and user has a mid-level access in which he can add or create test or delete test. And the P-Not functionalities of this project are taken care of by admins, like creating projects and those kind of creating project, deleting it, creating deleting a run, because a deletion of run can't be given to anyone, as it is very useful for auditing purposes also. By moving forward, what we have thinking is around, as we have spent more than 6 months on it by building the depth in this project, by building features in it. Now we are more focused around the horizons. We are targeting to provide more type of filters to it, more attributes to a test, make it more inclusive and more useful for the community. So in that direction we are doing it, and what we are relying on is the community is to provide a very useful feedbacks and start using it and start contributing to it. So we we have that scope as well in our mind. So this concludes our checkmates. And now, thank you for guys for being here.